Welcome to Dr. Dookie's Marvel Strike Force live stream. Here we are showcasing the latest update from Fox Next Marvel Strike Force. I am coming at you live through Stage 10 and playing through BlueStacks. I'm not sponsored by either, but that's just how I'm getting going in case you are a viewer interested in doing something like this yourself. It's very, very easy to get started. So, Dr. Dookie has his Dookie Fuel here, brought to you by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtle Power. Trying to fix the audio. Okay, once again, in case that blew out your eardrums, this is Dr. Dookie with Marvel Strike Force, streaming at you live. I am showing off the latest update, and that is this new ability to go through the roster and not just filter an individual item like in the past, but look at this. I have the controller, I have the Mystic, and I have the Villain tab all checked for the Villain Mystic controller, which of course is the requirement to the latest Phoenix Rising event or whatever it's called. These are the requirements, so I thought I'd showcase what I have. I finished getting my final squad member up to rank 6 very recently, and that was Loki. I was kind of lazy about getting to him for some reason. I was thinking that Hand Assassin would be the worst, and I think that's because so many of the streamers out there, the whales out there, as it were, those are the ones that they're lacking. And they probably already had a 7-star Loki and Ronin um, and Mordo. And so a few of them I heard are not happy about their Nobu situations, but I'm very happy just to unlock the character at the level I'm at. I don't really have the gear to tier her up at the same time as the other team I'm working on. And I'm about to unlock the Rhino for you today. So if he's the protector to the Spider-Verse team, which is near and dear to my heart, I'm a big Spider-Man fan. Fox Next, if you're listening, Scarlet Spider needs to be in the game. Call it Scarlet Spider Ben Riley. That'd be sweet. Superior Spider-Man would be a close second. Um, and then you'd have to indicate, though, that that's Otto Octavius in those little parentheses. I don't see enough parentheses there. I like that. I like how we know that the other Spider-Man is Miles. Uh, I hope you revisit that. So let me see. So if you see here in my roster, all of them are meeting this level 65 requirement. And if I were to open up my ability tabs, you would see that they all are either 6665 or in the Hand Assassin's case, let me rephrase that, 6664, or in the Hand Assassin's case, 664. With the exception of Nobu here, because I just don't quite see the value. I do not quite see the value in this. He's not an incredibly uh, fragile character. Well, I mean, his stats are kind of low, but my gear tier for him is kind of low. So I don't know, maybe. I don't anticipate needing to do that as far as unlocking Phoenix goes. I don't see that as make or break. But one more thing about Spider-Man. So Miles Morales, yes, um, that's cool, but I want to see the Ben Riley Scarlet Spider most of all. So just going back to that for one more moment, because I also would like to see the black suit Spider-Man, and what I mean is that's the alien costume Spider-Man from the Secret Wars. I would like to see that more than a stealth suit Spider-Man, which is what I feel like maybe we might get something like that. But I'll be happy with it. I just want more Spider-Man, and the main reason is um, as we, oops, you see now there's so many options that I think I clicked on the wrong thing. Just, okay, there we go. So as we add more Spider-Verse people into the game, eventually we'll be able to peel off the original team and have two teams. I'm anticipating more Spider-Men to join the current Spider-Men that we have. Hopefully one that says Ben next to it, so we know it's Ben Riley, and maybe another one that says Otto next to it, so we know it's Superior Spider-Man. These are good things, Fox Next, and I know there are a lot of there are a lot of fanboys out there and fangirls out there for Spider-Gwen, and I don't know much about her outside just seeing her appearance in a single comic book, and then in of course in the Enter the Spider-Verse movie, which was amazing. I encourage you to see it if you haven't. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Um, that's where we get this version of the Green Goblin from. I mean, I'm sure he's in the comics and whatnot, but I mean that's the version in the movie also. So that's probably why that choice is mirrored here. But it would be great to have a team of. This is what I'd really like to see down the road. Hopefully, if you can keep my attention long enough, or do it fast enough, Fox Next, I would like to see that team of Spider-Man, and then also I'd like to see a symbiote team. So I would like to see, Peter Parker in the alien costume suit to join the Venom and the Carnage team, as well as, I don't know, possibly other members like the, what's his name? Uh, Not Rampage, but whatever the, if it comes to me. But, a solid symbiote team, that'd be great. Because Green Goblin is going to properly be peeled away to the Sinister Six team, and that's going to leave a spot for the Spider-Verse. So I'm wondering who's going to fill that spot. I don't think it's going to be Mysterio. Time will tell. That'd be weird. That'd be weird from a comic book point of view, but I know they're trying to promote, it's a cross promotion between Sony and Marvel Disney intellectual properties. So, they want everyone to be happy. We'll see. I don't think he's gonna be a good guy in the movie either, though. But I don't know that for a fact. I don't. And maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. If they either, whatever the direction they're going in, I just hope they pull it off. So, what was that? We talked about my Spider-Verse. Real quick, I just wanted to go over my Wakandans as promised. I wanted to check in with them. Uh, they are low mid range now. They're getting towards mid range. I've already done the process of jumping the gun and giving a few of them some orange abilities. So, very happy about this decision. This is just amazing. He has a 50% block amount whenever he's charged. So, if he blocks, he loses a charge. That's the only thing I don't like about it. But I've seen some damage reduced to the double digits, and I cannot wait till I am able to get his star rank up. Although you can't see it right now, his star rank is only 3, but I got very lucky and got a 3 red star on him. Not as lucky as getting a 4 or 5 red star, but nonetheless, that's the most I can take advantage of at this time. So, not really complaining about that. And so, again, Umbaku, if you're even if you're a whale, I heard one of the whales out there does not have this. It just that surprises me. If your M'Baku's dying, that's probably why. This has to be part of his kit. The plus 5% on defense up makes a big difference, bringing that to a total of 15% also. Just the more passive heals you can get going, um, healing negates damage, not as good as doing an attack, but negating an attack is wonderful. So, what am I looking to do next? I think I'm going to use a good portion of this incoming free gold. Uh, and Dr. Dookie is thinking about spending the last of his orange mat horde on Shuri's ultimate here. And the reason why is it appears to me that this is her heal. This is the ability to heal either all 5 characters on the screen or do a substantial heal to a single character. Uh, and what I mean by that is, what would that be? Uh, we have, well, we're missing this 5%. So if I read this as a level 6, heal the most injured ally for 250 health plus 15% of this character's health. Moving to level 7, that's going to be 15 5 times for a total of 75% health. Double check my math if you have a calculator handy. But that's almost, you know, and then the cherry on top, we will have 500 times 5 for another 2,500 health. So, you know, depending on how much health the character has, later in the late game, the 2,500 health isn't that big of a deal. And really, you're talking about bringing up an almost dead character over 75% health. That's who could ask for more. Oh, and then you're clearing 1 negative effect each time. So if all of your team, theoretically, if all of your teammates are injured a little bit, you could clear 1 negative effect from everybody. And that's big. That's very big, especially since negative buffs are becoming a bigger thing. America Chavez is passive, uh, for one, rings a bell. And let me see, Mysterio for sure, these heal blocks and so on. So let's get off of this. But, oh, geez, I missed that. So the moral of the story was I already orange. Come on. I already orange matted. Jeez, get it together, Dr. Dookie. I've already orange matted her Wakanda Forever. This is just lovely. Look at this. In raids, self and Wakandan allies gain 40% max health, 20% max armor. Whenever a Wakanda ally drops below 50% health, you get 3 deflect on them. Everyone starts off with a speed up, and what that does is it ensures that everyone goes first. Everyone on the Wakanda team gets to basically take a turn before anyone else goes. And it adds, so for example, I'm picking on Shuri here, 112, half of 112 is 56, double check my math, 56 plus 112 would be 168, and a 168 speed character beats out Carnage and beats out a basic orb. Ooh, shiny things. Beats out Carnage and beats out Captain Marvel. It might not be Korath. I forget how his mechanic works. Let's look at that real quick. My Korath is not that great. It seems like when level 7s were introduced into the game, whenever that happened, it seemed like corresponding with that, the potency of his ultimate seemed to decline. And I'm not saying they tweaked it. I'm just saying that might be due to level creep. And you know what? I had so much trouble finding him just now. Why on earth didn't I use this new filtration system that seems to work so well? And you could have done that before the update, of course. where's my head today? So this always gain assists, that's actually worth it, but I didn't ever go back and revisit that. A 20% ability block without increasing damage seemed kind of poor to me, and then look at that, 120% more damage at the level 7 seems like you're putting that at 570%, which, you know, Wolverine is going to be at 700% with orange mats, and he's a terrible character. But that's not what we're looking at here. We're looking at how the mechanic of Hot Pursuit works. Um, Always gain speed up on spawn. Okay. So, looking at his speed, he's going to start with, let's see, 50% of 114 should be 57, which was also the school bus number of my elementary school days. 57 plus 114 should be 171. So it seems like with apart from Korath and a few other characters like this, the Wakandans are going to go first every time. So perhaps Korath will finally be useful as a counter to a Wakandan team, as part of a Wakandan team counter. I don't think it will be a Kree team with Korath as the counter. Wakandans already seem to do pretty well against your run-of-the-mill Kree team, unless Korath, I highly doubt it's missing key there. Uh, Again, he'd only be in the mix, and the other four characters on the team would not be benefiting from this. So uh, there may be other characters with similar mechanics like this. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I know many of the speed up characters like Daredevil require someone to take a turn. I think that's also true for Scarlet, um, or rather Black Widow. So let's not a good deal. So let's go to this Rhino open that I promised. I did not do the expensive one. I did the cheaper tier because they announced there's a campaign. I'm hoping with the combination of this open and the campaign, I will have a 5-star Rhino by the end of this. I'm rather dubious of the ability uh, or of the possibility that I like that money, that I'll end up with a 6-star Rhino, which I would really like for my Spider-Verse team. But, hey, what can you do? I will take what I can get. Not too much luck on these Rhino orbs. Is it possible to not even get 45? Oh my goodness. Oh, how many did I get? Oh, just barely. Jeez, that was the worst. That was not very lucky. Happy for the money though, needed it. And probably not enough green or blue material to really do anything. But let's go ahead and recruit him and make my alliance mates jealous. I haven't seen anyone else recruit him in my alliance yet. I have a few quote-unquote dolphins in my alliance like me that usually buy the new characters, but perhaps when they saw that there's also a campaign event coming, they shied away. But if you remember where my Spider-Verse team is, they are in a lovely position right now they're very mid-range. They're in a position to become mid-high. They have no orange mats, but they're all their purple mats are done, and I believe they're all about tier 10, 9 to 10. So, but there are a bunch of red stars in there, and because of that, and because of the fact that they're made to punch up, I have destroyed in the wars shield teams that had 90,000 uh, power above them. So the sky's the limit here by adding more characters to the game that can optimize your Spider-Verse attacks against shield. I'm very happy to have a protector on that team, finally. It may, but the thing is with this game, it may be some wacky mechanic where the protector, who I have to swap out someone to add this protector, and that might reduce their damage enough so that they're not potent enough to take out shield, and then, well, maybe they'll be better suited for other teams, so it would be the hope. Oh, that's a lot of cash. So I got, how much did I get from that event? It's 220. So it's kind of like I'm paying 160. Okay, I'll put them at 45 for now. I'm kind of money short because of, it was recent that I brought all the Wakandans up to level 64, and then Okoye up to 65 so that I could unlock her basic. And it's only Shuri that I want to get to 70 for now. And I, I kind of wonder if I might actually save the free money tonight, or tomorrow rather. I'm thinking about it as tonight. If I'm up at midnight, I might not be. I've been going to bed so early. Dr. Dookie has been down on the weather. So I should get him up to tier, I'm guessing 6. It's gonna depend on how gear heavy he is. It seems like, I don't know why I'm making this stupid guess, but it seems like Rhino is going to be the easy access character. They'll make him free to play real quick. Maybe he'll show up in the war store, so like not easy access free, like raid store level free, and maybe not, definitely not, but maybe even Blitz store level free. I could see him showing up in any of those stores, but probably not raid store since they just added Killmonger to that, which I'm very grateful for. I am just a few raids away, actually 2 or 3 raids away from having a 4-star Killmonger, and then from there the sky's the limit. I'm taking him all the way up to 6-star for sure. Uh, I'm not going to take him up to 7-star unless I get a 7-star Spider-Verse team, since that's the key to getting the 7-star Shuri. It's just the layers thing is tantalizing to me and annoying all at the same time. I like the strategy of planning the gear and whatnot, but at the same time, it's terrible. Oh, look at this. This is terrible. So I was hoping optimistically for gear tier 6. The first number that popped up in my head was gear tier 5, and it looks like I'm just stuck at gear tier 4, forcing me to go to supplies and pay, what, 60k of the gold that I'm trying not to. So this is why I'm simultaneously simultaneously I'm fighting on multiple fronts. This is a game, by the way, that you have to patiently fight on multiple fronts every day to advance in all categories. Every now and then when there's a special event where there's maybe double shards offered for characters, you double down and you put a bunch of resources narrowly into a single category for going the other categories. You don't want to do this for very long because you see the world around you pass you by, and as in the places like the raids and the blitz, and that's very frustrating. Scratch that. Arena and blitz pass you by. The raids are victim of level creep, but that's not as bad. And the Stark Tech, generally speaking, accounts for that. And actually, that's by design. They're made to cancel out each other. So, uh, Rocket Raccoon, 4 Palladium away from being gear tier 13, and that's not an exaggeration. He has all of his other gear tier level 12 stuff taken care of. It's just that unique slot. This was a surprise. Prometheum. The person in this portrait is going to be my Juggernaut. So he's going to be one of my first 2 characters that are gear 13, I believe. The other being Nick Fury. I do not plan on building a shield team in the near future. I really was hoping to get the trifecta of Groot, Rocket, and Star-Lord, put them with Minerva, and then the 5th character maybe would have been the Vision. That seems to be a very great combination, or some other protector out there. I would have settled for, uh, just to get the darn thing going, so to speak. But it appears that I'm going to have Juggernaut, and the reason why that might work in this strange, strange world is that I have a 6 red star Juggernaut that I've greatly neglected. He's greatly underpowered. And because of these stars all aligning, I've been leveling him up to rank 7. He's going to be rank 7 from the arena store pretty soon, relatively speaking. 137. 163 more shards to rank up the character, which, if you double this number, divide by 10, and then add 1, you'll get 33, which is how many more batches of 5 credits I will spend and have a 7-star Juggernaut after paying the enormous amount of gold. He will be incredibly strong. Maybe even with enough health and armor to withstand a considerable amount of damage from the Ultron campaign. Maybe to live long enough to be resurrected by Minerva with a chunk of health that will make him live a very long time, so that Nick Fury can then buff. Well, how is that going to work? Well, Nick Fury can buff Rocket and Star-Lord with offense up, and they'll just massacre everybody. And then Minerva will, let me see, heal everybody while she does her bleed. My Minerva's not very good right now, except for the fact that she has 4 red stars. But she's not farmable, so she's permafrost in 4 red star land. That terminology didn't make a lot of sense. Dr. Dookie will work on his puns. Oh, my rank is falling. So because of level creep, my Guardians are becoming less and less effective. Even though I have a great Guardians team with now a rank 6 Minerva with 4 red stars, I do not have more than 2 red stars on my Rocket, and that's really where the bottleneck for damage is right now, as more and more folks are getting red stars. That's making Rocket Raccoon less and less potent. More and more impotent, as it were. Who am I going to do? So, when I'm really far behind like this, I try to punch up for as much as I can, even if it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And it looks like punching up would be very effective if I can stop myself from over-clicking. That would be a good time to have some more coffee. Get more jittery. Oh, shoot! Ah. Okay. That is a 5-star. Alright, so this is the weird hybrid team I've been running. Star-Lord next to Mantis for maximum heals. Nick Fury for the offense up and the defense up, quite frankly. The speed up too. Groot for extra damage for Rocket. Defense up. And of course, you need Death Proof for Rocket, because I think that's Rocket and Groot really come as a pair. So I'm not really sure um, how effective my default um, Fear of the Darkness team is going to be, or enter, which is the hard one. Whatever the hard one, I think if you're going EF, like G should be like grotesque the darkness, grotesque of darkness, great. I'll stop. It's not Android operating systems, but it should be. Generator of Darkness, that's a good one. H should be Hell of Darkness with one L. Well, he's going to spread that buff, making that just wonderful. I don't have a way of blocking him. He's going to defense up. It seems like still, with Nick Fury, the thing to do is eliminate your healer. So that was an easy decision there. I can blind the Punisher or outright try to take him out. 7 red Star-Lord at your service. Healed up Rocket with Mantis's ultimate there, which will come back pretty quick. Defense up, death proof. Spread all of these buffs. Not the death proof because we already had it. So he has a defense up. So because of that, I actually want to take away 2 counterattacks there. He's still in the yellow. That's great. This is very ineffective at this point in the game. I'd rather just peel off a buff and do a little damage. I think it doesn't, but I really wish, I don't know for sure, but I really wish the offense up, which does increase focus by 50%. I don't think it affects how much a healer heals, but I wish it did. Someone can correct me in the comments if anyone knows better or if anyone is watching out there. So let's peel off a buff. Peel off a buff. And he still has offense up because Nick Fury gave everyone 2. I think he always gives everyone 2 buffs. He gets 2 buffs, a double stack, and gives everyone a double stack if he has it. I think that's how it works. But I think you get 1 defense up because he's the one generating that 1 defense up. Don't really need this, but Rocket dies in weird situations. At the drop of a pin. Who's this gonna... Well, Star-Lord needs it. Tana's still on him. Jeez, Mantis barely damages that. Gear tier 13, level 77 red star. The only... His abilities must be very low. His passives must be low or something, because he seems like he doesn't have that much health. That would be the one time I would put orange mats in Luke Cage's passive, would be if I had him at gear tier 13, 7 red star, rank 7. Alright, another arena victory. It was not very long ago, not too long ago, that Dr. Dookie was in the top 50, almost top 25. And I'm not exaggerating by that much. I will prove it. Actually, I won't prove it. I don't want anyone to see my whatever number. Not that that matters. It's probably secure anyway, but whatever. Point being, Dr. Dookie recently was there, but because of due to level creep and other people unlocking more and more gear tier 13 characters, I have been knocked out of the top 50, and now I'm fighting for the top 100. That is annoying. So, as promised, I wanted to do some Blitz. Before we bring this to an end, I want to show off some of my Blitz teams. So I reworked this recently to get more Blitz teams. At tier 5, you have to be careful with this bottom team. Now this will be my power armor team, and I really wish I had already spent more time on it. But things is things, people. I almost went insane making sure that I had that mystic villain controller team that I showed everybody earlier, that I shared with the audience. And let me tell you, I really mean, Foxnex, I did not have fun playing this game for about 3 weeks. And that's a long time to play a game, to stick with a game that you're not having fun playing. As you're watching your ability to level up and gear tier up your important characters because you have to farm shards for characters that you really don't plan to use outside of this event is very frustrating. And I have no intention of ever having a 7-star Phoenix. If it happens, it'll just happen through premium orbs. And, well, I will farm probably Mordo up to 7-star. And who else is on that team that you can grind for free? No, that's it. Wait, Ronan? If I get my minions up to rank 7, I will get my Ronin up to 7 also. So that's 3 characters that are only going to get rank up through like random premium orbs and mega orbs and whatever. So maybe Blitz. Thanks Foxnax. You gave me literal mental anguish. Dr. Dookie literally had mental anguish over this event. That's not a joke. Time out for a second. That is not a joke. And I've anyone out there with fragile mental health or mental health states that seem to, eh, for lack of a better word, not be as stable as the normal quote unquote person. And I mean that in the mathematical sense, meaning the average person. Maybe the average person doesn't get stressed out as much as you do, or maybe your anxiety is a little bit higher than the average person. That's what I'm talking about, folks. And there are a lot of people out there that have it way worse than that. I understand that, and I'm trying to empathize with that too. Uh, when a game that's already designed to be addictive like this is, and almost like gambling, I'm gonna just say almost because I don't want to start an argument. Um, People like me tend to get a little bit more excited about the game than the average person, maybe a little fixated, and that can lead to um, that can actually trigger depression, you know? And I'm not saying the game can give you depression. It's a wonderful, fun game to play, which is why I like to play it at all. But there's something familiar about this despair of opening loot boxes that is farming the characters, those nodes, getting the Loki, getting the Hand Assassin, getting the Nobu. That if I didn't make this incredible chart of information. So this is accurate for Nobu, this is accurate for Hand Assassin. I never updated it for Loki because I was like, oh, thank goodness, I'm done. I'm so done with this. It was like knowing like that a it was like knowing that a bitter relationship was over. Like in a very unexaggerated way. Like that's like the overtop exaggeration of it, but it like fits in the same kind of area. Just yeah. So look at that. That's actually over 3 weeks. It's 23 days, and it was actually on the 24th, possibly even the 25th day that I completed the Loki shards. No, it was the very next day. So the 24th day straight of this. And what's crazy is I'm relying on my red stars to fill in the gear gap because there's no way I was going to get them to gear tier 11. Only Mordo is gear tier 10, and the rest are all gear tier 9. And I'm hoping, again, that those red stars are enough to amplify their base stats enough to make up for the fact that they don't have gear quite there. But all their abilities are where they should be, except theoretically Nobu may rely, for some super RNG purposes, rely on that 70% stealth ability mode, in which case I don't have that, but I will have the ability points saved away by the time the event starts. So if that's really needed, if I have trouble and I struggle on the unlocking Phoenix, I have a few tricks saved up my sleeve to stretch out the damage output and survivability of those characters just a little bit more. Like over leveling, I can still do that. I maybe farm a few gear spots, but I don't think I can even tier up any of the characters, so I might forego even doing that, but we'll see. But yeah, to end the seriousness, I will go back to being Dr. Dookie again in a second, but Fox Next, please do not ever do that again. Don't ever, 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 ever do this Dark Phoenix event nonsense ever again, or you will see a large amount of people like me that suddenly don't log on anymore. People like me don't go in your comments and complain about how bad the dynamics are. You will just see a large blip of your game population just not log on anymore. That's it. Do not do this again. That's not a threat. It's a request. Please, please, I am humbly requesting, do not do what you did again. And I mean the meta-analysis to see what characters are the least along to unlock this legendary. Quite frankly, what I would rather Foxnex do, if you're thinking about, well, we need this legendary character to be scarce. We can't have everyone having it, otherwise everyone will have it, and that takes away its uniqueness. Try this. Make your legendary character require the newest characters that you just introduced into the game. I would be way, way more okay with that than having to do this mad loot box, this sickening loot box drive. And you know what I mean, okay? It's not like uh, farming Kree Reaper right now has 2 loot box nodes. That makes it palpable, but only having one node to farm over and over again and seeing 0, 0, 0, you know that your player base is spending power cores. And you know that unless you grind and grind and grind in your arena, they're not getting the power cores they need to open up your loot boxes. And here's another tip. There are fractions. You use them for your shards to rank up. Why not guarantee a fifth of a shard? Just a fifth of a shard. Hear me out. Frugal folks like me aren't going to unlock more than the first 100 power core unlock. So what does that correlate to? Your free one, the 50 power core one, the second 50 power core one, the third one, the third non-free one is going to be the first 100 power core one, and that adds up to 4. 4. And with that, you'd have an 80% of a shard every day. 0.8 shards. But you know what you do with that 0.8 shard? That is like a little bit of a feel good to your players. And it does not 5 days 5 days of grinding. 5 days of grinding would give you 4 guaranteed shards at that rate. And if that's too much to ask, that you make it a fifth, make it a tenth. Use the decimal system. And do this on every single loot box. And guess what? It's not a loot box anymore. It's not gambling anymore. It's a grind. You know what you could even do? You could even scale the free decimal. The first time you get a shard, maybe the first 10 times you get shards, it's a fifth. And then maybe after that, it's a tenth. And maybe after that, for a while, it goes to being a 15th, and so on. Just whatever you change in the game so that you can avoid this. I don't want to have to do this to play your game. I don't, I have fun doing data analysis. I have fun planning when your legendary events are going to be, trying to ride your wave, your statistical wave of maximizing the amount of free stuff that I can get from you while still being a decent player and paying for the 25 bucks for the new characters. So I am supporting your game. Please do not do this again. And that's all I'm going to say about that. All right, Dr. Dookie is ready to go. So, Dr. Dookie loves puns. I'm not going to spoil them. You'll just have to figure them out. When am I joking? When are there poop jokes? Are there poop jokes? Is the name Dr. Dookie enough? Are you just overthinking it? Clear with vision. Now, to be clear, Dr. Dookie does love this game, or Dr. Dookie would not play this game. Because unfortunately, with a wink, I am not making money playing this game. I do need some patrons. Uh, Dr. Dookie would love some patrons, so if there's anybody watching who wants to at least subscribe to my channel, that's free. I have hopes and plans and dreams. Hopes and plans and dreams of having subscribers on this channel. Followers that may even want to contribute so that I can snazz this channel up and make it more professional. You see, the word professional means that you're getting paid to do something. All I can do is make it look professional until I actually get some money rolling in. So think about that, internet. I give good advice. Work on your Wakanda team. Why is this advice good right now? Despite the naysayers, I'm continuing to work on my Wakanda team. And I've already seen its performance in Raid 6. I already have two Ultimus Raid 6 teams that I can pretty much auto-play, except for the last two nodes. And maybe there might be some trouble with that stupid Hulk team and Thor team and Loki team. I don't have a hard counter for it. I just kind of power through it with an overpowered team. Here's my lackluster Avengers. The Hulk is OP'd. Let's see if we can get something that they can chew on. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Green Goblin's at the bottom. I hope I didn't get too serious for anyone out there. I tend to go on rants when I get let's say emotional. I don't know. I hope it was entertaining to somebody. My wife's at work right now. I have the day off from my uh, laboring job. Oh no, this is not looking good. This was a poor choices were made today. Oh man, he wasn't powered up or anything. That barely did. Oh, what breaks my heart here is I'm gonna get knocked down a tier. So it's like I'm like, oh well, maybe I can win. I can't really win. I don't know why I didn't taunt. The whole team died while I wasn't taunted. No one's strong enough to kill anybody. All right, one guy down. Oh my gosh. Oh, great Carnage got. Well, if he doesn't dodge, that would be amazing. Oh, that was amazing, Spider-Man. Heal up. Oh, that was really bad. Don't dodge. Alright, you're dead. Alright, something happened. Nope. Now he's gonna die. I really need to get used to just uh, dropping out. Oh, okay. At least it was at tier 6. Sometimes I'll look and it'll be recently when I'm playing a poor team like that. I won't be. I'll be shocked when it'll be like tier 1, tier 2 actually usually to be honest. Uh, but they're not close enough together in level. Hulk got ahead of himself because I was sick of looking at Hulk as having so many stupid stars and being only blue. He was tier 8 and it just bugged me. I need to. My OCD kicked in and that can be a hell of a thing. Now they're starting to give me terrible teams to fight against. And when I say they, it's just the algorithm. So I know a little bit about AI. I'm not. I've taken limited computer programming classes. I'm mostly a self-taught programmer, and I use it whenever I need to model stuff. I am a mathematician by trade and uh, by training, so to speak. Essentially, AI, artificial intelligence, algorithms are used, learning software is used all the time now to optimize profits, optimize payouts, quote unquote, in probabilistic systems. Um, when you have a set of elements that obey certain properties of probability, that is to say, if you have X elements and they all have a decimal number n or x rather usually associated to them, or p sometimes for probability, right? Uh, as long as none of those numbers exceed 1 and they're all positive and added up together, the values that you associate to them are equal to 1, that is the probability that each item has. Associated to each item would be a value, and that value multiplied with its probability is called the expected value. Algorithms can very easily game games like this, that have probabilities, expected values, and so on forth. It's fun to data mine these kinds of games as a mathematician and construct probabilistic models and so on and so forth. Sometimes it's just easy enough to collect a large number of samples, as I did when collecting the Nobu, Loki and Hand Assassin shards. And you can still analyze that. You can still do large number analysis by, you can collect the standard deviation, uh, the mean, and it's the sample standard deviation. You'll never really know how they're cooking their books, so to speak. But anyway, a game like this can vary. They have software that manipulates. So they have software that collects the data and looks at like, okay, well, which team is having trouble with this other team? Let's pair them up. Maybe that'll teach them a lesson. And they even kind of sometimes at least give you a hint by showing you that that danger bar is high, but that doesn't always necessarily seem to correlate. Sometimes that just seems to say, well, they're a team with a high power number. And, you know, when you see these random teams that are generated Commander Dash 2 whatever or 3-2 whatever, I don't think those are players. I don't know. No, there's no one has been able to show this claim to be false, and it is falsifiable by just having any player come forward and say, hey, no, that's me, and explaining why that's the number. Maybe is that the random number they generate for you when you start the game? I don't remember that. Um, I don't remember that being an option for me when I started the game, but maybe I just don't remember. It's been quite a while. Here's my Hero Brawlers team. I really haven't touched America Chavez too much again because of that Phoenix event, but I don't want to go into that again. I spent way too much time on that. For my liking. Way too much time on that for my liking. Trying to see if my wife got my text message. No way to tell. So yeah, I was hoping that if the wife is out there, howdy. Check my live dashboard. Shucks, it appears the answer is no, but let's continue anyway. Onward and upward. So here's my Wakanda team. In Blitz and Arena, not as strong, but they're already. I cleared the first. I think it was the first 3 nodes in the last raid that our alliance launched. That's currently going on right now, so I can't duplicate that. The later nodes they're not strong enough for yet, but they get such a bonus: 40% extra health, 20% extra armor. That that is huge. It makes them very durable, and it makes the heals really count from Shuri. So they could probably dismantle any of these teams here. I don't think there's necessarily a better or a more fun one. Well, you put them against this. This might be terrible. Let's go for that. Dr. Dookie fears not. Fear. Oh, that's a good